Just a little bit of an insight into some livestock pens I put up in the field. We were always going to do something like this, but we never quite got round to doing it. And then I lost my dad, and trying to shift stock up and down the roads became a bit of a nightmare. And I ended up putting these pens up recently just to give myself a half a chance of being able to work the sheep. These metal sheets here, I got quite lucky with these. I got these out of an implement sale. They're a lot thicker than a normal roof sheet, and they were originally bolted together to make a barley bin somewhere in a barn, I guess. And they were only like £10 a sheet, and I got about 2 dozen of them, so that was quite a steal. Over the last few years, I've been widening a few gateways out and making rather easier access off some narrow roads, so I've been acquiring a few gates here, there and everywhere that were originally on fields, which I've been stockpiling, and I've just been decided to use them on this job just to make it, well, they just needed a use and they were already here. Bought the timbers from the wood yard. I made a hole for them to drop into using an auger on a tractor, so that they were sort of, if I tried to knock them in with a post knocker, the chances are they would have twisted or kicked out as they hit a stone or something, whereas I figured if I dropped them into the hole with already made hole made with an auger and backfill them with cement, I could pretty much put them wherever I wanted. So that's the idea, and they're a little bit higher than the sides, thinking that someday if I wanted to I could add some planks to them and turn the pens into being dual purpose, and I could use them for cattle. It's a bit of a half homemade race, half bought race. I find a sheep race is quite a good thing to have, to be honest. Rather than having to catch all the sheep independently to doze them, you just run them through a race like this. Have a hook up here on a swivel. You can just hang your dozing on there, pull it back and forth with you as you have your sheep in the passageway. I've got the shedding unit, the headstock the shedder or whatever you want to call it. I got that at an implement sale one day. I added a little bit of chain on the handle, so that way you didn't have to specifically aim to pick that up. You can just grab a hold of the handle, put your thumb on there, flick that, and then do that. It's a lot less complex. It's so much simpler when you don't have to reach for the little tab. So that was my addition to it. Other than that, the headstock's pretty much as it came. There's another there's another rope overhead. You pull on it and it opens the gate at that end to let the sheep in the first place. Now, when you're doing this job, when you never had one of these before, most of these cheaper end of these guillotine gates, as they're called, don't have any means of holding up the gate. Now, some of them have a latch that that catches a hold of the gate and physically holds it up. I'm not doing that now. It's just held by a latch up here. And mine didn't have one, but I managed to sort of vaguely copy the idea off a neighbour's. So when you lift your gate up, it thumps the top of the latch, moves it back and lets it go down. When you want to bring it back up, you just pull on the rope. It comes up, hits the bottom of the latch, moves it across and catches it again. Just like that. And there again, let go of the rope. I have a small filler pen here, boxed in with some more of those sheets. I put that up there to hang my shearing machine on. I clip sheep when I'm in here. I generally bring the sheep in from that end where my best mate Moss the dog is currently residing. Open that gate, that end of the gate swings open and goes out into the field, and then you walk the sheep along the back of the hedge. It isn't quite finished yet. I'm wanting to put some more gates in the pen, across the pen, some probably sledge hurdle type things or something to subdivide the pen up. I keep having to bring sheep hurdles down here, and sometimes I get here and I haven't enough hurdles on the place, so I want to finish it off and make it a permanent job. I made the sheep race. I was obviously just out of some planks, put some posts in the ground, and I think it's 16 foot long. Not much else to say really. The sheep race, the shearing hook is on a swivel. You can bring it out into the field like so, hang your clipping machine on it, and it'll kind of swing around with you as you know when you're shearing your sheep. Just unhook it off the end, and if you want it, not that it's too high to catch your head on, but if you want it, you can swing it back around out of the way like so. So like most things in farming, it wasn't something that cost an absolute fortune. The sheets, like I say, they were a tenner each. I already had the gates, bought some new strainers. I think the guillotine gate was just over £100. The shedding gate was about 110 or 20. I'll get some internal gates put in to finish the job off. That's my young pup Max, who's just fit for cause and bother. But like I say, things don't have to cost a fortune. If you've got a set of pens in the field and it's already there set up and it's easy worked with, then your sheep get looked after, you know. If it's easy to do, then it gets done, sort of thing. But hopefully somewhere in there there's a few ideas for people who have a similar situation, just to pick up and run with it and do something to help themselves. Okay, bye for now folks.